Ease off, Zarnok!
You're not gonna believe this! Earthlings. These squishy creatures once believed the best way to cure anything was to bleed. Headache? Bleed it out. Bad vibes? Bleed it out. Possessed by demons? Oh yeah, bleed it out. But here's the kicker. They didn't just apply the leeches. They hired people, actual paid humans, to walk into swamps, let leeches bite them, and then collect them off their own bodies. Congratulations, Earthlings. You invented painful fishing, using yourselves as bait. Oh, I'm just standing here in this swamp letting tiny vampires attach to my legs for minimum wage. Imagine going home after work. Honey, I caught 32 leeches today and only passed out once. Wow, you're literally bleeding for this relationship. And what did the doctors do with these goth slugs? They slapped them on other people and called it medicine. Let me get this straight. You feel sick, so someone sticks a swamp worm on your neck, and you thank them? Incredible. And humans say our science is cold and clinical? Honestly, these guys didn't need aliens to destroy them. They were doing just fine, with leeches and swamps. Zarnokians, now prepare yourselves because the next job involves ears so big, dignity had no room to stay. Let me introduce you to the aircraft listener. Before they invented radar, yes, actual technology. They used to detect enemy planes by listening. Not with advanced sound wave sensors, not with neural sonar, nope. With giant metal cones strapped to their heads like a rejected brass band audition. Their job? Sit outside with a dinner plate satellite on each ear, hoping to hear an airplane from miles away. That's right. While we were scanning galaxies with neutrino sensors, Earthlings were like, shh, I think I heard a hum. Or was that Dave's stomach again? What were they expecting to hear? The plane politely coughing? Some of these devices were so big they needed wheels. Imagine this. Imagine strapping your ears to a carnival ride just to hear a plane that was already seconds from dropping bombs. And it gets better. If the enemy was sneaky, you didn't hear the plane until it was already bombing you. Sir, I think I hear something. Sudden boom! Too late, Steve. And if that wasn't ridiculous enough, guess how they woke each other up? Before alarm clocks, which are still just screeching metal boxes, they paid another human to poke them awake every morning. No, not a robot, not a laser, a person with a stick. Oh, wow. So the species that invented fire, the reel, and taxes couldn't figure out how to wake up on time? But wait, it gets even dumber. If a stick wasn't dramatic enough, some elite knocker-uppers used blowguns to shoot dried peas at glass. So let me get this straight. You invent agriculture, grow peas, dry them, and then weaponize them into an alarm system? Imagine being sniped by legumes before coffee. Pew pew! Rise and shine, Mr. Johnson! Time to work! Meanwhile, Mr. Johnson's soul is leaving his body because it thinks it's under attack. But here's the glitch in their logic. Who woke up the knocker-up? Did they have a knocker-up for the knocker-up? Or was there one guy at the top of the chain who just never slept? Now, Zarnokians, steady your logic processors, because the next profession is even more blindly ambitious. Let me introduce you to the Bematiste. Sounds cool, right? Like some sort of space alchemist? Nope. They were professional steppers. Their job? Walk in a straight line and count their own steps. That's it. These creatures were measuring distances, entire cities even, based on Steve's legs and whether or not he skipped lunch that day. And get this, they weren't even bad at it. Some of their measurements were shockingly accurate. So while we're out here using photonic triangulation and gravimetric curvature fields, Earthlings? I think it's about 10,347 Steve steps from here to Alexandria. Seriously? They mapped an empire using feet and vibes. What if Steve had a limp one day? What if he got distracted by a goat? Whole nations just shifted a few meters to the left, and don't even ask how they trained new Bematists. All right, kid, walk like Steve. Exactly like Steve. No pressure, the fate of Rome depends on your stride. And these creatures still think they're the center of the universe? Zarnokians, Contain your laughter, because if you thought counting footsteps was dim-witted, wait until you see how they handled rats. And yes, infestations were a real problem. They had professionals for that too. Yes, a whole job just for catching rats. They called them rat catchers. Apparently, during something called the Victorian era, a time when fashion was disease and mustaches had legal rights, cities were drowning in rats. So what did they do? Build a sonic trap? A plasma grid? A smart rodent disintegrator? No. They hired sweaty men to chase rats with their bare hands. Yes, bare hands. Like Earth was running low on gloves or dignity. Some even brought ferrets to help. Others used dogs. But the real gladiators? They just dove into alleyways, snatching rats like it was a clearance sale at Chaos Mart. Imagine this. You're covered in soot, knee-deep in trash, wrestling a rat the size of a toaster. And your boss says, "Great job, Jerry. Only 43 more today." Oh, and they carried sacks of live rats. Meanwhile, inside the sack, the rats are like, "Yo, did we just get kidnapped by the guy who lost at Evolution?" And you thought chasing rats was boring. Don't worry, your next job is even worse. Meet the human computer. Before digital computers, they hired people to be the computer. Yes, flesh and brain. That was the whole operating system. Imagine this. You assign Karen from accounting to calculate rocket trajectories. With a pencil! No neural net. No quantum processor. Just coffee, paper, and blind faith. Like labeling a rock spaceship and hoping it flies. And these weren't basic tasks either. These poor humans were doing orbital math, launch velocities, ballistic predictions, while sitting in a hot office, dodging typos like they were asteroids. Imagine risking planetary missions on Susan's handwriting. Oops, forgot to carry the one. Sorry, NASA. Hope you didn't need that spaceship to land safely. And the best part? One mistake. Just one. Well, that rocket's now a crater in the side of a mountain. Excellent work, Susan. These creatures thought solving equations with pencils made them futuristic. Adorable. They invented telescopes, named stars, but still trusted Susan and her calculator watch to guide a missile. I don't know what's crazier, that this worked, or that it worked often enough to not wipe them out. And when it came to phone calls, oh boy. They discovered electricity. They harnessed radio waves. They built the Eiffel Tower. And then, they handed the fate of their communication networks to Doris. Yes, Doris, the switchboard operator. Before you glitch in disbelief, let me explain. These creatures used to route phone calls manually. As in, you'd lift a receiver to call someone, and somewhere, a human lady would go, "Connecting you now." That's not technology. That's hope in a headset. Imagine contacting your doctor, your boss, or your long-lost lover. And your fate depends on whether Doris had her lunch yet. Also, privacy? Gone. She was listening. They trusted important conversations to someone juggling 200 cables with nothing but reflexes and routine. Now picture this from our species' perspective. We cross-communicate across galaxies with zero latency. They needed someone to physically connect two holes with a wire. If we Zarnokians used that system, we'd still be in a cave yelling into a rock, hoping the mothership hears us. And here's the kicker. The more people called, the more humans they had to hire to manually connect to wires. It was a pyramid of chaos, a tower of talk, an entire civilization of, did you try unplugging it and plugging it back in? How did they survive?